Hey everybody, Shawn Tubbs here. Thanks for tuning in. This is a Friedman Cali model guitar. Really great guitar. David Friedman and the awesome Grover Jackson got together and built this model guitar. It's kind of an homage back to the really cool hot rodded Strats that were out there back in the day. Let's get right into some specs on this guy. It's an alder body. Fairly light alder body to boot. The neck, the back of the neck is hard rock maple. The maple cap on this, or the fretboard, looks like it's bird's eye maple. I can just see a little bit of bird's eye in there. Obviously it's a Floyd Rose locking trem and obviously a locking nut up here. The keys are hip shot locking keys. Now you don't necessarily need locking keys on a guitar like this, obviously, because of the locking nut, but it does string up an awful lot quicker. And the keys really look nice. They're kind of an open gear tuner. The finish on this guy is nitro lacquer, which is awesome, and it's really nicely relicked. This one kind of looks like almost like a Lake Placid blue kind of deal, and like I said, it's got some cool just kind of relicking on the front and back. Now the pickups in this guy are Friedman classic humbuckers, and they're definitely an homage to the really great classic PAF tones, and the output on them is not too hot actually. It's around, you know, just a little over maybe 8, which I really appreciate because it allows for the guitar to stay kind of stringy and open, but still, you know, push the amp enough, especially if you're using, you know, an overdriven amplifier. It's just got one volume and then a 3-way selector to get you between the 2 pickups and the middle position. These do back off really nice, and we'll get into that. We'll get into some sounds so you can check it out. You can also get this, this one didn't come stock with it installed, but it comes in the case. You can use basically a Floyd stop or block in there if you don't want the trim to be floating, but it is floating as it came from the factory. So yeah, let's kind of check this out a little bit. Right now I'm playing the amp I used in the performance song exclusively, which is my Friedman Dirty Shirley amp, and I had it dialed so that if the guitar was wide open, it would get pretty cranky. But if I backed off, and that's what I was talking about with these pickups, is they really back off nicely. I mean, you can definitely crunch up an amp, but if you back them off a little bit, they really back off sweet. The other thing I didn't mention real quick that it just reminded me is the neck joint on this thing is killer. It's got 2 dowels, steel dowels that are actually in the neck that go into the body, as well as the 4 bolts that you'll see. And then the neck pocket is already ridiculously tight, but it just basically eliminates any neck shift that could possibly happen. But on top of that, you can really feel this guitar resonate because that join is so tight. Sorry, I just thought of that as I was dive bombing. And we're still perfectly in tune. Now, one thing I do want you to check out is I'm going to switch to a cleaner amp. I'm going to go to this Sir Bella and let you hear these pickups more in kind of a clean thing. So you can hear they sound fabulous on a clean amp as well. Just really a nice sounding guitar. The frets on this guy are Jescar, and I believe they're the 57 110s. So they're not super tall, but they're not super wide. I felt like they actually just sit perfectly, pretty much for any touch. I wasn't distracted by the frets at all. The fret work is gorgeous. I believe all of these guitars are plecked from the factory, which is really cool. Now this neck is kind of what gives you the vintage feel, but this really modern playability, because this neck is compound, so it goes 10 to 14, which I could be wrong, but I think that's something Grover Jackson actually came up with back in the day, and it works really great. So when you're bending notes and doing all the crazy kind of more modern things that guitar players love to do, the strings aren't going to choke out on you when you're bending. You don't have to worry about stuff getting choked out and tweaked. So that is the Friedman Cali model guitar. It's a really great guitar. They do several different finishes, obviously, and wood choices and what have you. So go to the site with any questions you have about that. And as always, I really appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will see you next time.